Okay, welcome everybody. Tonight we're having a look at the ZZRC SUB 2 ride. This is part of my review series where I'm looking at other Zwift groups and we'll listen to the intro. Okay, here we go. The instructions were quite nice. So let's see how we go. Okay, so we're asked to do 1.5 from the off. Of course, I'm over that now. Leader is just behind me. Okay, so I'm 40 meters in front of the leader, so I'm just going to slow down and ride alongside him. Well, there's a lot of riders in front of me that are doing well over the pace needed. Okay, here's the leader. Okay, I don't know what weight the leader is, but I'm holding about 1.5 watt kilos and staying easily in front of him. Here we go, he's just pulled up. There's no consistent pace. It's all over the place at the moment. I'm finding it very difficult to actually stay with the leader because the pace is fluctuating. I get into a rhythm, and then I find that, yeah, there's just 1 minute I'm doing 2, next minute I'm doing 1.4. See, now the leader's doing 1.3. There's no consistent pace at all. So I'm now back in front of him. Now don't get me wrong, the watt kilos can change as you're drafting in the pack. So you have to allow for the draft dynamics. Now I'm staying fairly steady, anything between 1.7 and 2.1 watt kilos, but I'm not really trying to change that up, and I'm trying to be as smooth pedaling as I can, around 70 RPM mark, which is giving me, or should give me, 2 watt kilos. Give or take the odd point. But once again, I'm finding myself, I'm not going over the watt kilos, and I'm finding myself 30 meters in front of the leader, because I think the leader's pace is just not consistent. Good clear instructions from the leader though, telling them what they need to do on the climb. But I backed off well down below 1.7, and I'm still miles in front of the leader. Okay, so I'm approaching the fence, so I'm going to try and ease off as much as I can. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be a consistent pace, because I'm at 1.4 watt kilo and I'm still gaining on the leader in terms of being out front of him, which doesn't seem right to me. If I'm pedaling 1.4, the leader should be catching me, not falling further behind. Really not sure what to make of this. I don't know whether it's the group draft that's affecting the ride, but it just feels very choppy. Huge group. And well strung out. He certainly shot past me there, and I'm having to put in quite a hard effort just to get back to him. So I don't know what's happening there, whether he feels the need to get nearer the front, but he was churning out well over the stated pace there. And I am just to catch him. I've never found it this difficult to stay next to a leader before. And that's not a criticism. That's just the ride dynamics. I'm struggling to stay by his side. So much so that you'll see that most of the time I'm actually trying to stay in front of him so that I can keep an eye on where he is. One other thing I will say is that as the ride has gone on, my pace certainly has been upped and settled. So maybe that's part of the plan of the ride, to get the group initially sorted out and then settle in. Because I'm not dropping down like I was to sort of like 1.2, 1.4 watt kilos now. I'm staying, give or take, around the 2 watt kilo mark, which is perfect for me. What I can't explain is when I do back off slightly to try and join the leader, all of a sudden he's well up the road and I'm having to put a hard effort in just to get back alongside him. Now that might not be the leader, that might just be the group drafting. But I'm finding it difficult to know how best to ride. Because like I say, if I now drop back to try and ride alongside the leader, I've no chance. So I feel the best way is to keep him in my rear view mirror and watch how many meters behind me he is and try and control my pace on that. It's a very different ride to the True 2. Even though this is another Sub 2 ride, I think the size of the group and the drafting dynamics is making it a lot harder. Having said that, we regularly get 200 plus riders on the True 2. So, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not enjoying the ride, I am enjoying the ride. But it's just I can't find a comfortable pace and stay within range of the leader. I'm all over the place. What I do like is good, clear instructions from Mr. Green, the ride leader. That's always nice to see. Doesn't mean people are taking any notice of me, because hardly anybody's in front of me is doing 1.9, but nobody is. Oh, they are now. Ha! Nice to see communication between the leader and the sweeping team. But what's not going to happen is he asked everybody to slow to 1.0 And that's just not going to happen on a ride of this type. Slowing. How long's the downhill, I wonder? And how steep? Now I've got to be careful here, because if you remember when I reviewed the last ride on the downhill, I got dropped because I was just relaxing like I am now, not paying attention, and before I knew it the group had left me and I had quite a chase to get back on. So this is a lot nicer, but I'm keeping an eye on the leader's meters behind me and he's closing. So as he closes up, I need to make sure I'm moving so that he doesn't come sweeping past me. Here we go, here's the leader. So that's important. If you don't get in the group, you're going to get dropped. And switch on the drafting boost as well. You're safe if you're in the middle of the pack. That's the main thing. Bang on 35. Well, I have to say, my initial reaction was, yeah, I'm not really sure. But as the ride's gone on, I've really enjoyed it. The pace settled down. I didn't feel like I was still all over the place. So this has been enjoyable. It'll be interesting to see the figures at the end, but I know for a fact I'm coming in sub 2, even though I worked quite hard on the hills. I could have eased off more, but I just felt like staying with the main group. So if I had to guess, I'm probably going to come in at 1.8. 1.7, 1.8. That would be my guess. And so what the leader comes in at will tell me the weight difference between us, and I'll have a look on Zwift Power later to see. But my guess is, I'll bet he's a good 8 or even 10 kilos heavier than me. And that's why, just to explain, that's why what kilo matter. And when you come on a group ride, you have to realise that the leader may well be sticking to the set pace throughout the ride, but you could still be over the set pace. Certainly if you're much lighter than the leader is. But it evens itself out, I found. Ah, Zwift Alpine Slopes kit. I don't know what the heck that is, but we'll have a look later. Yeah, it evens itself out because the heavier riders will struggle more on the climbs. Or at least that's the way it should work. So they don't have it all their own way. Okay, let's drop back and see if we can pick up the leader. I have no idea where he is. Ah, he's right at the back. I think to give this ride a fair review, I need to join again, maybe with a different leader. I mean, I will review it at the end of this ride and give my thoughts, but my feeling now is that to be really fair, I need to come on another ride. Here comes the leader. Hey, let's call it. Okay, so this is the important part. What did I think? Well, initially, as I mentioned in the video, I found it hard to settle in. The pace seemed to be up and down a little bit, and I wasn't quite sure how to stay with the leader because I'm used to riding at a consistent pace, and this certainly didn't start off like that. So I really struggled to stay with the leader. That doesn't mean that the leader wasn't doing what he's supposed to do, which is stay at the agreed pace or even under the pace. My personal feeling was that at times he was dropping too low below the pace, to 1.3, 1.4. And while that's okay, it leads to a more choppy choppy feeling for the riders around him. But having said that, David Green kept a good group around him throughout the whole ride. So it's pretty obvious that the regulars have got used to his style of riding. Once the ride warmed up and we got into it, the pace seemed to settle down a lot more, and I was finding that, yeah, I was able to sort of like maintain a regular cadence and not have to put in spurts and ease off like I was doing in the early part. On the climbs I pushed a little bit harder, but that's just me. That's no reflection on the leader. And I tried to keep the leader behind me so that I could see at all times where he was, rather than letting him go up the road and then I wouldn't have any clue as to what pace the leader was doing. So it worked well in that respect. However, I personally feel I need to do another one of these rides to give a fair review. I'm a little bit confused, you know, is this a regular thing? Does the pace constantly change like I found tonight? Or will another leader keep it more like 1.8, 1.9 throughout the ride? Maybe I'm being a little bit unfair and comparing it to the True 2, because that's what we do. We tend to do. Me and Darren, we both tend to keep the pace round about just under the 2 watt kilos, the 1.8, 1.9, and try to come in. And in fact, for the last 3 weeks, I've come in bang on 2.0, which is why it's called the True 2. So maybe I'm being a little bit unkind in comparing it to our ride, because we have a different ride dynamic. But I can't help thinking that if the ride leader kept a more consistent pace, the actual ride would feel less choppy. So does it pass the muster? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be interested to look at Zwift power and check out the figures, but I'm pretty sure the leader came in sub 2. I know I certainly did. So yeah, the ride passes the test, but I think there's room for improvement. I'll give another review when I've been on another ride and hopefully chosen a different leader, just to see whether the group dynamic changes or not. To end, I've really enjoyed the ride. Thank you, David Green, for excellent leading, very good communication, and a pretty enjoyable ride. Don't take my comments the wrong way. I'm just trying to give an honest review of how I found the ride. And on that note, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.